What does it mean to be whole? And what does it look like? In my understanding, wholeness is self-acceptance, accepting the whole you, not just the likable parts that you want to present to the world, not the polished Instagram version of you, but the whole you. You with all of the flaws, visible and invisible, all the parts, likable and unlikable, all the limitations, all the imperfections. What does it mean to accept the whole you, and how do you do it? It all starts with knowing yourself, deeply knowing yourself, knowing your wounds, your pain, your deepest desires, your fears, your dreams, your strengths and weaknesses. Very often we don't just keep secrets from others, but we keep them from ourselves, afraid to go to the depths of despair or longing or past pain, because we fear it will destroy us and we won't be able to function. And of course, it has to be done with caution and guidance, but it has to be done. Wholeness is not possible without knowing yourself. Integration is not possible when you don't see what is there to integrate. So what does acceptance mean? Is it the same as self-love? It is acknowledging all parts of you, wanted and unwanted. Acknowledging the parts of you that were hurt in the past and at one point or another want to express that hurt and want to be seen and heard in their pain. It is seeing those parts without judging them and pushing them down. It is becoming the loving parent to those parts of you that need your love and your guidance. Acceptance doesn't mean that you give up on things ever changing and never try again, or allow your wounded parts to take over, or become a passive actor in the movie of your life, thinking, why bother? Nothing ever changes anyway. Or letting other people dictate the narrative of your life because you think you're not capable. It means that you stop fighting with yourself in your struggles and listen to the innermost intimate parts of you with patience and understanding. Many people say that they love themselves, but what they really mean is that they do nice things for themselves. Buy nice clothes, go to spas, eat good food, think positive thoughts, and all of these are important. Still, often they dismiss the subtle cues of their nervous system, the quiet or not so quiet voice of their body saying, I can't do this anymore, or I need rest, or this person or this activity is not good for me. They ignore the most important ways to express self-love, which are listening to their feelings, drawing boundaries, honoring their values and needs. When you make it a priority to get to know yourself, that is when you start to embody wholeness. Wholeness is accepting the way that you feel at any moment, be it sadness or disappointment, or even hatred. It's accepting that having a human experience means having all of those feelings, without exception. When we judge ourselves for having the unwanted emotional experience, or want to acknowledge just the favorable parts of ourselves, we deny our humanness, deny our complexity, the multitudinous nature of our personality. Being whole is accepting and acknowledging all parts of us, likable and unlikable. It is complete emotional integration that causes emotional resilience when you are capable of feeling uncomfortable feelings without trying to push them aside. Being able to be with the parts of you that hurt without blending with them or acting out on their behalf. Human journey is not easy. It is at times unbearably confusing, and the last thing that we need is to blame ourselves for not being able to figure it out or having uncomfortable feelings about it. The human journey is never about being perfect. It's not about fixing every part of you that you don't like. It's not even about being completely healed. It's about allowing life to manifest itself the way it does, without blame or judgment. Allowing your personality parts to be expressed without criticism or guilt. When you embody wholeness, you embody your sovereign self, knowing that you will never be perfect, nor should you be. That is not the destination of your journey. Being sovereign is letting go of feeling like a victim, over-apologizing, over-giving, over-explaining, living in a space of guilt and shame, making yourself small, and trying to compensate for your flaws by being accommodating and convenient. Being whole is allowing yourself to exist, be cared for, and loved for who you are, not for who you're trying to be, flawless, perfect, ideal. Knowing that neither flaws nor perfection can define you, because you can never be defined by the external manifestation of who you are. You can never be defined by the experience you have. You're changed by the experience you have, but it cannot define you, because you're not the experience. You're the one who goes through it and is changed by it. You're an experiencer, an observer, a witness, ever changing, ever evolving. You're not stuck. You're not fixed. You're constantly moving, and you cannot be defined at any moment, because at any moment you're different. Because this is your nature, ever changing and ever expanding, and being whole is also being accepting of that nature, and not trying to resist having experience, not trying to hold on to it either, but consciously choosing it, staying centered and sovereign within yourself, knowing that no experience, no matter how hard it feels, can really destroy you. No experience can destroy you when you're unified inside, when you're not threatened by any parts of you, when you're not afraid to feel. When you embody wholeness, you're not pushing away any part of you. You unify them. You stay sovereign and centered inside because you accept all of the parts of you, allowing them to exist and be seen and heard. Only that way you become whole, unified, when multiple personalities inside all work together for the common goal, the harmony of the system. When you're in harmony with yourself, you cannot be divided and conquered by outside forces. You're not threatened by them. You know who you are, how your system operates, and how to put it back into balance and harmony. A person who is not threatened by anything cannot be manipulated, cannot be convinced to do something that they don't want, cannot be coerced. But you need to know who you are, know every aspect of you, every part of you, know why they're there, what their hopes and dreams are, what they're afraid of. To be a loving parent to every part of you, you need to know every part of you. Only then can you guide them and comfort them, see them and hear them out. You are never a singular personality. You are composed of many parts, many opinions, many voices, many desires, likes and dislikes, and they can only live in harmony when they're governed and guided by the loving, wise, and sovereign voice. And that voice needs to be isolated and cultivated. The voice of your sovereign self, confident, loving, compassionate, wise, and infinitely patient. When you are whole, you're not threatened by the inner parts of you, you accept them. You're not threatened by the outer parts of you, other people. You understand that when they act reactively, it's not really them who do. It is their conflicted parts that do. You understand why they react in that way. Being whole is seeing yourself from a perspective of the divine. Every part of you is divine. Every part of you has a purpose and the right to exist. Every part of you has the right to express itself and its truth, whatever it might be. Every part of you might have a story that needs to be told, needs to be heard, even if it's just you that hears it, and every part of you is precious, because it comprises the entirety of your personality. You can't really discard any aspects of your personality. You can't say that you don't like them and they shouldn't exist, because this is what makes you whole. And getting rid of even one of them would mean that you are not whole anymore. You're incomplete. Now, you might not like parts of your personality, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't exist, just like you might not like parts of your body. But without them, your body will not be whole. Many people believe that if they accept something, they give up on the idea of it ever changing and getting better. And this is not the case. It's just the opposite. Acceptance creates inner balance and inner harmony. When everybody exists in harmony and agreement, when everybody has their own place without being threatened to be thrown out of it. And from that space, change happens in its most appropriate and pure form. Everything strives for balance, and evolution is the result of it. Everything will evolve with the least amount of resistance if you allow it to be the way it is first. And acceptance means allowing every part of you and every part of others to grow and evolve at their own speed. Given time, freedom, and patience, they will evolve into something else and continue their evolution onwards. And this is a very important point. Allowing everything to be where it is, knowing that it will never be the same, knowing that evolution is the way of life. It will only be the same if you resist it and push it away and not allow it to express itself. Just like a child that may not behave in an evolved way, in a mature way, will change with time, unless it is criticized and shamed for not being the way others want it to be. Everything changes naturally when there is no resistance present. Resistance to your own internal parts will cause them to stay the same or rebel. Life will always strive for freedom to evolve and experience change. It is the natural way of life. So how does it look to be whole? It looks like living in a space of self-love, understanding, and compassion. It means standing tall, not bending to the other people's demands and expectations, knowing who you are with all of your imperfections and not apologizing for them or compensating for them by pleasing or taking less space. It means honoring yourself, honoring your values and your needs. It means saying no when you feel it's a no and saying yes when you feel it's a yes, without feeling guilt or shame for choosing yourself. Being whole looks like not adjusting or editing your truth for the sake of being loved and accepted by others. Saying it straight like it is, with dignity, with honor, with strength in your voice. And you don't have to be rude or demanding or critical. The most powerful voice is often a quiet one, but the one that holds authority and ownership of what is being said. Being whole looks like being free to co-create with others without compromising your values, your truth, but with honesty to yourself and others. It looks like spending time to get to know yourself intimately, getting to know your own secrets without feeling aversion to the parts of you that are not that favorable. It looks like doing things deliberately and consciously without being torn apart by different parts inside that are in conflict with one another. It looks like making decisions and not doubting yourself every step of the way. Walking your path unapologetically without looking behind too much to make sure that you're moving in the right direction. Knowing that every step will eventually take you to the place where you need to be. Being whole looks like feeling reverence for life, for your experience, for everything that happens. Knowing that there is meaning to everything, even if you don't see it in the moment. Allowing the life to be your guide, teaching you, stretching you, making you even more of who you are. Being real and accepting yourself even when you can't be real. Even if you're playing a role, because that also teaches you something. It looks like meeting everybody on your path from the wholeness of who you are, and meeting them in the wholeness of who they are. Seeing them already whole, because they already are. The way that they see themselves is just a perception, erroneous perception. And you refuse to play their game. You refuse to play into their incompleteness and separation. You see them, perceive them, and interact with them as being whole and unified already. That's when life stops being incomplete and becomes everything, just the way it is.